Asteroid of fear.
Welcome to another episode of the Men of the House podcast, and it is Unfiltered Friday. You hear me yawning. It's been a long, long week. TGIF. And it's a half day. Thank goodness for that, too. Kind of, I guess. My daughter will be happy. But I guess we'll just have to see who's going to pick her up, myself or my wife. Normally my daughter and her friends and some of the moms get together and do a little something after, but who knows what's happening. But if you're watching, you'll notice I'm not wearing a t-shirt. That's right. I'm in a collared shirt cuz it's actually Thursday evening cuz I want you guys to have this first thing Friday morning. Start your Friday off right with me, yours truly. Yeah, I'm in a collared shirt, got the wedding ring on. What? Yeah, we had a bridging ceremony to go to today at the school, so everybody was dressed up. It was nice. Um, and I was tired. I came home and I kid you not, I fell face. I turned on the news and I just laid down face first on the bed, sideways, and passed out. Make sure I'm recording here. Yeah. Woke up like an hour later, and here we are. I was going to record. I was kind of dreading it. I was like, man, I am tired. And I just passed out. And I think sometimes that's the best sleep when it's just that organic pass out. No alcohol, no nothing. Just going all week. My daughter's had a lot of events. We've had field days, kickball tournaments, lots of outdoor things. It's heating up here in Texas in the 90s. Uh, when I take my walks now, especially if I'm outside, I'm doing the camelback and, I'm noticing the water weight change because I weigh myself daily. So, yeah, you got to stay hydrated out there, people. And it's, you know, the going, the heat, all of it together just wipe my ass out. But it's been good. Our oldest daughter came up to visit her little sister, which she was happy about. Spent a couple of days, and it was cool. They got to spend some individual time together because my wife and I both worked a little after hours, but it was cool because she was able to take her and they would eat and just hang out here at the house and whatnot. But yeah, I thought that was cool and it was really nice. And it was just a lot of good stuff today at the awards. Seeing all these people, all these kids getting ready to go into the sixth grade and seeing their awards, and I perfect attendance. That was one that, man, I never really thought about it much until I started. Like now that I kind of track habits daily, perfect attendance. That's a big thing. That's consistency. I would be interested to see kids who win the perfect attendance award. How does that translate further in life with their consistency to whatever endeavor they choose, Now there could be other reasons for perfect attendance. They might not just be these eager little study bugs that we wish they all were. It could be Parents have nobody to watch them. They had to send them to school, sick or not. Maybe their father is David Goggins. You going to sick, or you going to school, punk, fool, sick, like it or not. Don't be a bitch. Go to class, learn something. Uh, there's this whole swath of influencers that are just super hard, no holds barred. Good for them. You do you. If that's how you need to be, then hey, some people need it. Um, what else amazed me that I wrote here that I got here on my laptop? Oh, oh, that was definitely cool. Seeing some of the little kids at the awards ceremony today, wearing their cowboy hats, and you know, her school kind of encourages that. They don't. I don't know about baseball hats. Maybe, yeah, it's an art school. I think as long as it's not, gang related, implicated, which I don't think there is. I don't even know what they call them. So the Caldwell Stars, maybe something like that. That's the because I think they have soccer in junior high. They don't have high school. It's not. Yeah, they're into other stuff. It's like a it's like a nerd school, but for arts and kind of nerds. Yeah, they're cool nerds. So I don't think they would have a gang, the Caldwell Stars. Um, but yeah, so the teacher there, he's really cool. He's moving on. I think they created a position for him as the director of innovation, um, which I'm very happy for him. I think he deserves it. I know all the parents and teachers wish he was staying to be the principal because he's just great at it. But yeah, he deserves more too, and I'm sure if what he did at this school and he takes that into the school district, um, man, yeah, it could make school what school needs to be, and I support that. As long as bureaucracy, politics, and money and bullshit don't crush the intention and spirit of what the position should bring. Yeah, there we go. How about that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Take that as you will. I did interview a pipe maker, Ryan McCauley. Go check that episode out. Great episode. Go Smoking Barrel Briars. Follow him on Instagram. He just had a really cool piece that I really dug. I think it was called the Parrot Piece. Had a lot of the lovely colors that I enjoy that are in, you can see my Men of the House thing here, some oranges and turquoise. Yeah. It's a really cool piece. But it was the first time I saw one that resonated with me, that I really dug, and I was like, oh, yeah, go check his stuff out. Um, what else did they gave some speeches and different things, and um, one of the cool things, one of the little speeches they gave was they discussed where one of my daughter's little friends, I guess one of the teachers, there was so much going on and maybe they were overwhelmed and the teachers were worried about the kids, like, are the kids okay, and whatever this was that was going on. And the little girl asked the teacher, well, are you doing okay? And that was a big moment, and I thought that was really cool. I love the story, and I think that whether they're getting that in school, at home, I know her parents. I like her parents. Um, I'm not naming any of these people, of course. If you know who you are, you know who you are. But good people, that means that they're giving them something at home that are making little thoughtful human beings that are considerate of others. Um, and some of it could come from experience because I know sometimes this girl gets a hard time. So, but growing up is hard. Being a kid is hard. I think being a little girl at that hormonal age is probably the hardest. And I just always try to be cognizant of that, especially with daughters. Once you pass that stage, if you're an asshole, then you're just a straight up asshole. You keep acting like that. I think sometimes when people change and if they don't understand what's going on with their body and it's hard for them to explain and express, um, and a lot of the people in our circle, because our daughter's that age, are in that stage. And so, I try to be cognizant of that always. And then my daughter got an award too, which I thought was cool. She got an award for a class that she's not even in. And, she took, it was where I know I've done an episode where she was part of a play and she worked on some of the design stuff and designed like one of the main stage pieces for the Junie B. Jones play. She didn't even tell us. Little stinker. Um, a little bit like me. She just does it because she wants to do it and loves to do it. Um, not for the credit. And I had no idea. And then, so it was really neat. Her teacher gave her award for, she's like, this person is not even in my class, but uh, has given the most, not the most, but um, for a person who's given like a lot of outside effort and input to the design for the productions and not even in the class. So voluntarily, um, just for the love of it. That's what it was for. And so I was super proud about that. Um, Reminds me a lot of me in that because I'm at this spot lately. I'm in this weird spot with like let's say the podcasting accountability, um just life's been weird, and I'm ready for summer. um I feel like I've been pulled in many different directions, tried many different things, and really all I want to do is have conversations. Podcasts, that's what I want to do. Podcast and earn money, and I do that through Ubering, and I love it. As you guys know, I get to ride around, listen to podcasts, music, check in, see my dad, charge my phone. Um, but yeah, for the next time being, like, I don't want to do anything other than have conversations with good people via podcasting, and I can get paid for those. So that's earning money and having pod conversations. 10 out of 10, love to do on my agenda. Uber, 10 out of 10, earning money. And then spending time with family. Our oldest daughter, or our middle one, turns 21 next week. Um, yeah, I feel like running around, whatever. I have people who I do accountability coaching with, and I will continue to do that for them because I enjoy that. But I'm not here out here, no, not advertising it, not about it, not really interested. No, I want to make money, spend time with family, have good conversations. And I feel like I've been doing less of that until last week. I finally got that. I finally got everything arranged with Uber that I needed to and kind of got back in the routine and, getting back to my formulaic methods to where if I'm not making a certain amount within the first 2 hours, I call it quits. But blocking off my schedule, um, it's about to go full bore. And then I have a whole list of like non pod match people that I want to interview, some dream clients who I want to interview them. They have no idea. I have people who we know we want to have a conversation. They're on that list. I need to mark that off. Um, but it's that whole thing of doing more of the things you love to do because you love to do them. You know, there I know I've discussed this before, but there's this whole thing of kind of like you should have a business and be selling something and your podcast should support that. Fuck that. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't care. The podcast is the podcast. The podcast is about telling stories, having conversations. What's the story of the person to the right or left of me? Whether it makes anything, goes anywhere, does not matter. I get paid for the interviews that I do. So through Podmatch, I'm getting something for it. I'm getting something for my time. How I make money outside of that in various ways through whether it's the caregiving gigs, Ubering, I do some other things here and there, but they're my choice. And I'm fine with all that. But I feel like I've had all these people that kind of tell you, I mean, that's their thing. No, you should really be doing this and your podcast supports that. You know, you don't make any money podcasting because I mean, I don't have any sponsors or anything like that. And then of course, there's always the concern if you get a sponsor, then you lose control. I mean, me, I would never, unless it was something I used or was aligned with. But, the point is I started the podcast. What I wanted to be when I started this was to start a podcast and be a podcaster. That's what I do. I am a podcaster. And I have made money from podcasting. And this is what I'm going to continue to do. If there's something I need to be doing out there, then it will find me. We'll run into each other. If somebody needs something done for them and think I'm the person with their experience, then that's fine. But, at this point, I have my hands in the buckets I want them in. And just ready to dig deep into those buckets full bore. And if it's not in those few buckets, then I really don't want anything to do with it. That's kind of the stand I'm taking. And it's for the love of it. And that ties back to my daughter. She wasn't in the class. She didn't get no credit for it. She didn't tell me about it. She did it for the love of it. And the recognition was the byproduct of that. Okay, if I get some recognition for my podcast or somebody wants to throw some bones at it or have me sponsor it or whatever, fine. Not the intent, not the purpose. It's for me. It's a selfish endeavor that I wanted to do. It also serves. I mean, it checks multiple boxes, you know? But it's about the podcast, not about some other shit that people keep trying to tell me I need to do or who I need to be. It's been my whole fucking life. Done. And that was kind of another thing that was where I noticed a little bit of my daughter and myself, how we're alike. And, that's the neat thing about having kids is watching them grow um, and turn into these little people. Sometimes they're unruly, but sometimes it's really cool. And I can tell that she's like me in some things. I mean, after her little bridging ceremony today, she got out early and, we were dressed up all nice and we thought maybe we would go for a little family eat. And she didn't want to. But I can read my daughter, and I knew that she's like, I just want to go home and get in the bed. And I'm like, okay, that's cool with me. I'm like, well, mommy's going to ask, but I know she's going to go do this, so she doesn't have to do it tomorrow, so she can maybe spend time with you. So we'll do this, this, and that. And um, I was correct. My wife was like, kind of surprised, like, what, you don't want to go out? And she's like, no. But it's kind of like I had to tell my wife, I'm like, you know, get those hormonal changes. I'm like, she's at that age. I'm like, she's like me in that no is no. Like, are you sure? Motherfucker, I just said no. Yes, I'm sure. I was sure when I said fucking no. And my daughter is damn near just like that. Um, and there's this thing about it. Like, there's a piece of, you know, I talk about how I love my wife because she's everything that I'm not. She's considerate, she's inclusive, she will make sure she's a saint. I realized that today um, with one of the clients she's dealing with that anybody else I already couldn't deal with them because yeah, but she is a saint and she'll be like, are you sure? Because she just wants to make sure. And sometimes I get snippy and I'm like, no. Like, no means no. And I try not to be. Um, but I noticed my daughter being a little bit like that. And, I was telling my wife kind of, not to take offense to it, but because I want my daughter to have confidence in her decisions. And I want for her to know that her decisions mean something. When she says no, it fucking means no. Because I want this to carry up when she's older. Um, all my daughters, when it comes to dealing with, maybe an unruly man at the bar or something like that. Yeah, I want them, or somebody tries to talk them into some bullshit they shouldn't be doing. Hey, do this because everybody else is fucking doing it. No, I want them to be confident in that. And, you know, even when my wife questions it and she gets a little snippy, that's fine. But once, once is enough. But, yeah, I want, I want them to understand that. And I feel more comfortable as a dad. I'd prefer to have that quality because I do not want any of them getting talked into some bullshit by stupid people whose parents didn't give a fuck about what their kids did or how they thought or whatever. So, yeah, I'm not going to call this out. I did see a pink Cybertruck, like the Mary Kay of Cybertrucks. Oh, let's see, what else did I have? Yeah, the interesting thing is kids too. They're at that age, man, where they grow like wildfire. There were some kids like they were calling the kids to the stage, and I hadn't seen some of these kids since November, since my daughter's birthday. And man, 6 7 months go by, and these kids grow up like weeds. But you know, in that like 11 to 12 range, kids they're losing baby fat and they're getting taller, and they just look totally different. Um, but it's pretty neat to see, I think, as parents. And then one of the other things that I kind of thought about was they had that bridging ceremony and they give out all these awards. And I had this weird thought of, like, imagine if as a person, your professional resume started then, like, I'm on LinkedIn, and if you're a professional, most everybody's familiar with LinkedIn and stuff nowadays. And yeah, I was like, the implications of that. Like, yeah, imagine if that's how it started and everything you amassed, because they have this thing called like they call them millionaires, I believe, and that's you read X amount for house points, because they do this neat kind of competition thing where they have all the houses of, I think it's Harry Potter, maybe Pegasus, Aquila, all those. And there's different people across the grades, and that's how they kind of integrate and make friends across the school and familiarize people. And but the houses are always competing, and so yeah, you'll get these kids who are real avid readers, and if they read X amount, probably a million words or something, then I guess they're millionaires. But I had this real nostalgic moment that I was like, man, I would love to have gone. I would love to be in the fourth or fifth grade right now doing a readathon, where you had to like clock, and it's like How to Eat Fried Worms or Ramona and Beatrice. I think I read the whole Little House on the Prairie series. Then I got into like some books like Wingman. And then I think by the time I was probably in junior high, when I was probably 12 or 13, I was reading like Force Recon Diary 1969, Force Recon Diary 1970, about a Navy medic who was part of Force Recon. Um, but yeah, I was like, what stops you as an adult? You can read all you fucking want. You don't have to, not even for credit. But I was like, yeah, just as a kid, that's your only responsibility. I was telling my mom this morning, as we were talking about this over the coffee pot, waiting for our K cups to brew, that, fifth grade was one of my favorites. And we were talking about this picture I had. And, I can remember making the planets, baking them up in the oven, the whole solar system. And, you know, I believe one of the guys I went to school with, John Lofton, this picture of me, him, and Billy. And I was in a squadron that was a AE-6B squadron. John Lofton ended up at the Naval Academy, I think through swimming, and flew AE-6Bs maybe. And I believe he went back as a civilian, maybe doing demining or something, and possibly lost his life that way, from what I've looked into, because he left shortly after fifth grade. But I still drove by the house. So, yeah, that was kind of something I was thinking about. Oh, that was a dumb idea. And my notes here. Um, yeah, here's kind of one thing. I remember Ubering. The frustrations already starting of kind of these people. It's a type of person. I'm waiting at the bar for 10 minutes of a pretty damn near empty restaurant with the order sitting right there. Of course, you can't take it. There's a sign, don't just take the orders. Wait for the person. And, there's people walking by pretending to work in this empty restaurant. I've seen it. I'm sure I've done it. And everybody's like, oh, they'll be with you in a minute. Yeah, 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 yeah. And then he comes up, the bartender. Oh, yeah. Oh, can you confirm it? And there's something about that. I don't know what it is. This whole like these some people that are like, I need to see you confirm it. Like I'm gonna fucking I showed it to you. Like I'm just gonna run off with the food. Like once it leaves like there, I have it. I'm responsible for it. If it goes missing, if it doesn't get delivered, well, I picked it up. Whether I confirmed it or not, I can confirm the order in your face and then get to the car and cancel it if I want. Okay. So you're all of a sudden going and above beyond. You're that person. There's always that person. They say there are no stupid questions, but sometimes there are fucking stupid questions. And there is that person. And sometimes they sit at the front of the classroom and raise their hand for every stupid fucking question. And it's like, oh, you've been fucking off in the back for 10 minutes. And, now all of a sudden you want to do your fucking job. And now you want to overdo your job and irritate the fuck out of me. You know, can you confirm it? Can you confirm it? Oh, now you're showing me that you're Mr. Thorough, Mr. Every Step. You know, come out polishing a glass. Those people. Everybody knows those people. Guy who's got a fucking telephone up to his ear, nobody's on it, pretending to talk. Yeah, fucking bullshit artists. The world is full of them. It's like, motherfucker, I am trying to get somebody their shit, and I'd like to get it to them fucking hot. Okay? Okay. Huh. I'll mark off that I love my wife again. Let's see. We got only old Lappy Top. Yep, we got Mr. Bartender. Oh, there's always that interesting little uh um stick to the outside of the supermarket. Stay away from the center of the supermarket. You know, um, the box stuff, your frozen stuff. I go, this is no shit where we live. What happens when they fucking stick the freezer aisle on the outside? Actually, frozen vegetables and all that stuff is good, but picked it, picked it ripeness and flash frozen to maintain all the nutrients. Man, I sound like I should be working for Dole. Come on, Dole, hit me up. I'll do a little ad read for you. I love frozen fruit. Um, I like taking grapes, freezing them. It's kind of like my new crack. And Fruit Riot frozen grapes are literally like my crack. And I'm gonna try the cherries soon. Get in on some of that. But I haven't bought any. I like freezing blueberries. Uh, I haven't tried eating straight frozen blueberries from the freezer section like a bag. I wonder texturally how different they might be from when you take a fresh one and freeze it, just due to the water content versus the flash freezing. But I might have to give that a try. But yeah, the other notable thing that happened to me yesterday, I believe, was a lot of times when I'm Ubering, Uber will tell me, go out from 5 to 8. That's like your good time. But who, when you go out right at 5, you're kind of taking that chance. Yes, you can get some orders, but then you're fighting 5 o'clock traffic to deliver it. And, maybe you end up with one order. So unless it's really big or something good, or it takes you away from town, then it's usually not worth it. So yesterday, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm getting ready to Uber. Maybe I'm Ubering and I have to pee. I'm like, "Oh, the park." So, it's nearing 5. I can pee at the park. And I'm like, "How about this? I'll get in a 45-minute walk or so, get some extra steps in, and let that 5 o'clock traffic pass on by, and then I'll hit back up on the Uber, and life will be grand. Check, check, check. I'm going to get some steps in while I'm listening to a podcast. 10 out of 10 favorite. Then I'm going to earn some money. And I finish this podcast. I'm deciding on the next one. Find it. Hit select. And sometimes you go onto a new one and you get the little spinning. It's gearing up. It wants to turn on. I'm like, maybe it's the signal, but I got all the bars. No LTE, no 5G, nothing like that, but all the bars. And nothing. So I'm like, well, I'll try some music. Nothing. I'm like, maybe, close out everything in the background. The only thing going is my Whoop. I try everything. So finally, I'm like, okay, I'm going to pull over to the picnic table in my workout because Whoop's attached Bluetooth. Um, Reboot the phone, let it reconnect cellularly to the tower, whatever. I guess they say it's good to do that every once in a while. And so, yeah, pull over, sit down at the picnic table, turn it off, and I go to turn it back on. And, because I want to keep it charged for when I Uber, because when you Uber, it's running all the time and it likes to go down. So I had it on a battery pack in my Camelback. So, a little battery pack in the outside pouch. And so it's kind of plugged in. Reboot it. I get that little message on the screen thing where it looks like a computer with the wire, like, hey, plug your computer in or plug your phone into the computer to restore it. I'm like, oh, great. So I unplug it from the thing, try to uh, kind of the same method of turning it on, turning it off. And now all of a sudden it's giving me like telling me to match up my phone to another phone, like a little swiping motion, um, side to side. Uh, I guess like when you transfer your phones now, since a lot of the newer ones don't have the SIM card, you just bring it near. It's between 5 and 6. Everything's closing at 6. And I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to sound dumb. I'm on a family plan, and I don't know who my carrier is because I was on AT&T for 11 or 12 years, and um, my wife and my mom and my daughter were on different plans together. Because, like, my wife and she was on AT&T. Everybody was on AT&T for a while, and then they went to some deal when it got the chance to get new phones, and I stayed solo on mine. And something come about, and I switched over. They just added me, and I didn't know if it was T-Mobile or Verizon. I know it's one of the red ones. Because AT&T, they would always have it kind of up in the little corner, and like if you took a screenshot, you'd be able to see like Verizon, AT&T, whoever. So I have no idea. I know it's one of the red ones. So it's either T-Mobile or Verizon. I'm like, I guess I'm either gonna have to go home and try that, or I can go to the store. And so I go to the store. I find a store, and it, both associates are helping people, and I'm like, I don't even know if I'm a customer here. And luckily there was another guy in there who was with someone, and I was like, say, bro, can you call my phone? Like, I'm like, it's broken. I don't, because I was like, if he calls it, maybe they'll say like, oh, the Verizon customer is not available or whatever. And it didn't say nothing. It said like, oh, this person didn't even have a mailbox that's set up. I'm like, bullshit. So I, I'm sitting in there, and then it's crazy too because I go out. I forgot my water bottle. I wanted to get a drink, and I go to open the door, and it's locked because the door's locked at 6. And I'm like, shit. But luckily, the dude came and opened it because he knew I was in there. He knew I was waiting because he's like, oh, somebody will be with you in a bit. Because he was helping some dude. I could tell this guy, the associate helping the person, he's dressed up in like, I guess, Verizon wear, khakis and a blue button up. He's got hand tattoos, so, you know, that tells me he's on A level. And the dude he's helping out looks like Poindexter that can't make up his mind. And I'm just like sitting there chomping at the bits. And I can tell this other dude's like, just waiting for Poindexter to make up his mind there with his loafers. And he looked like he should have been working at Verizon, especially as thorough as he was. But he finally made up his mind and got the fuck out of there. And uh no, actually he didn't. The other dude who was with one that called me, He finished up, and some young cat of a different generation, he did exactly what I did, but it seemed to work for him. And I was very appreciative. So, yeah. And he was cool about it. But, hmm, I was like, should I end with funny or should I end with serious? We'll end with funny. I'll talk about a couple of serious things that one I don't know if I want to yet, but the other one I will. They're semi-related. They're kind of I don't know. I don't know if it's offensive, but take it as you will. When I had to go to the store today, I was I wasn't parked close. I was parked, like let's say in a Walmart parking lot. You'll have like your first section, maybe like cart drop off, second section, a second set of cart drop offs. I was probably like in that second section. Not too far away, not too close. Me, I don't really care. A lot of times I park closer to the exit. I'd rather be closer to getting out than closer to getting in. Either way, you're doing the distance, you know. If you want to be jumbled up at the front where everybody's crossing just because you got a closer parking spot because you don't want to walk, I don't know what it is. But these people, I could see them. I hadn't even made it to my car yet. And there's two cars waiting. And there's this spot. The second car could actually was trying to get in if the person would have just come up, but they were waiting on my spot, which was a little bit closer. Um, and they were obese people in the car waiting for my kind of closer spot. No, I guess I was kind of close, but it just brought my heart pain to know that for some people, that is a thing that they wait. They almost have to wait because their movement is limited, because it's painful for them to walk that far, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It hurts me on an emotional level to see people who kind of need to do that or, yeah. But if maybe they would park further away, do those walks, then that wouldn't be necessary. Those are the people I want to help. Those are the people, if they need accountability, 100%. You know, I feel bad for calling it out or noticing it in a way, but that's the only way to fix it because I feel bad for them because I know it's painful. I know it's painful to look that way. I know it's painful to feel that way. Um, comes with a lot of problems, comes with a lot of medication. Comes with limitations of not being able to do things maybe with your kids or what other people do. So, yeah, it bothers me. And then the other thing that bothered me was I was at a stoplight and, you see people on the corner walk up and down the sidewalk, hungry, veteran, blah, homeless, need help, whatever the case may be. This one, I don't know if I ever do open mic, it'll probably be a joke. Um, I'm sure somebody will have some crazy thought about this, but see a person with a sign that says they're hungry, but they're obese and overweight. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. How does that jive? If you're just lazy and you need money and you don't want to work and that's your hustle, okay, maybe I'd respect if you were just honest. I don't know. You haven't missed any meals if you're overweight, so you really can't be that hungry. I don't know. It was confusing, comical, and bothersome all at the same time. But let's end with something funny. Given our weather incident last week, our little weather people here on the news, they're doing their little run through like this is our weather team on the little news break, and they're like, you know, they do that spiel like, hey, if bad weather's coming, don't worry about your kids. Don't try to go to the school to get them. The school knows exactly what to do. They'll be safe there. And I was like sitting there going, thinking when I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I'm like, for everything, okay, we're going to have like a nuclear bomb drill. Get under your desk. The little four-legged desk that has the little hole that you push shit in, or the one that flips open. Tornadoes coming. Get under your desk. Huddle up under your desk. I'm like, yeah, those are the people you're trusting. Yeah, get fucked. That's the answer for everything. Get under the desk. Huddle up. But all right. Until next time, while you're out there this weekend, thinking about everything I just said, all the riffraff, all the crazy people, all the intent. No means no. Respect. All that. Until then, while you're out there this weekend, now that summer's here, go out and be the person that you want to meet.
Asteroid of fear.